But when we visited Kojo Kurom again on July 4, we met heaps of uncollected rotting garbage. The stench is overwhelming, and residents are unhappy the contractor in charge has not been doing his work for so many weeks.
And
the refuse become so big to the extent that we can't breathe. People talk about it, they complain. We complain a lot, and sometimes when the air change direction, and I'm in my kiosk, I can't breathe. People talk, but how can you do? You have no option, because what I know that it's STMA who's supposed to come and remove all these things, and they used to collect money. And the refuse is there and we can't be. That means I don't know the type of work they are doing, and we still complaining, and later on they come and collect it. They bring a certain machine to come and remove all the rubbish and take it away. And you know that they are not, the refuse is not going to be too much again. And before we know, it is coming again. They come and put the refuse there. Sometimes, I don't know what they mean. You see, they will come and put the refuse there, they won't mind it. And you see, they will leave it like that. And it will become big and big and big, and to the extent that even you can't breathe again. Right now, as you can see, it is not how it is before, and it is coming big again, and you are still complaining. Now we don't have truck to come and take it.
I go to school at Ketenkade Primary School. I want the government to come and clear this rubbish, because whenever we are passing here, we smell it. We don't like it. So I want the government to come and clear it. Next time, you must see one. We won't be able to grab you. I don't buy. Because I'm ready. Someone will be coming. You want to pay a book because contacting all your money. Continue. Oh, make it. Continue. Next time, I know. Already, I'm shopping. I'm shopping. I'm body. You don't know. You so say, already penny now. One nation. You should turn to me soon. I know how I am. You'll be. I'll show you my shopping. I'll show you my.
For residents of Kojo Kurom, safe collection and safe disposal of their waste remains a major worry. Some residents here are not even sure who is responsible for this sorry sanitation situation in Kojo Kurom.
I can't wash your rubber. Mammy or Jiboles cake or Schwab, but could you construction have an aka come more pay? And say, when you never can be, what would you see? And say, when you never Massa, I can't wash and hope I blame. Equal at that time, yeah. I'll tell you, I blame. When you are already been paying. Already been paying. Oh, I didn't see one for contracting in Casa. It was in Quasamo. Next time, your boy come be up from Guagu. It's Master. Yeah, Junior Bed, and I mean, in committee. How do I come into committee? Okay, fine.
The Clean Communities team pressed for answers from this revenue collector at one of the refuse dump sites at Kojo Kurom.
na de for two.
Woman in the football here.
Or two.
What can them go up on? I'm up with you over the road. And you and you be our winning penny for Casapa.
Sempre final wa fam. I force there or there in one casa.
That was the kind of fought about into yard of air. Yard of Baba. Until I'm the one on back, ball and wide and we would know. Mamindo tried and continue up over them. Or fuck my hotel by because I am Madama. Oh, one of some about to move. So, what shall I rob all kind Nala? Into an operator Timbian or bed or Babefa. How I free, but you have 1 hour back. That's the first contract I did. I tell I was on your boys, Nico by 5 months, 6 months, 20 boys and 20 boys on one bedroom. Cast me properties on bar. After my phone, no George Fred or my for container. That one not some bar. See, my men are not trying best there. Or Baba fuck my high friends, or ya one bar.
All day now, Marcus Cameron, Malami Yale. Yale Biala contracting on what you want, first Kibiala Modem of Fansamu Yalba. And then Yara me Yan, so I'm a bear, one first come on. The Miss Can Wiki. I don't check the hand, but I am way from Winalaka.
This is not an isolated situation, since our team found heaps of garbage in many parts of the town. These welders, for instance, have been battling for space with this garbage dump, which they tell us has not been cleared for weeks on end. They say the contractor, who hails from a different community, has left them in the lurch. They are unhappy and are appealing to the Shama Ahanta East Municipal Assembly to, as a matter of urgency, take the necessary steps to clear the garbage.
This thing actually was not here. It was far from this place. And then they just organized to just bring it here. And people here, we are really suffering because you can see there's rubbish here. The toilet is also here. So, in fact, we don't know what to say again. We are tired. We don't want all this thing. And now the problem that we are having in the earliest ages, all these things been voted by the assemblyman. So it was usually been taken off day and day out. Now they have taken from the assemblyman. We have been hearing. You know the government proposition in Ghana now. When your party come to power, they will take every position that belongs to their other. The assemblyman, the old assemblyman was an MPP. Now, because it's a NDC on power, he took the position for him. So now it's not taking the money from it again. We heard that they said the money for the private, the tourists, they pay to the assemblyman. Is that the assemblyman also gets something from it to use it to maintain this area? Now they have taken it from him.
Hana is man, but only me there border and Bahan. Anything I can't suppose I have a play Bassa. Over Hano, Wabasamaya. Yes, we do him Samaya, only can summer, we one some of Samaya. The inevitable, the inevitable, the Yura, by Ebony Pra, for 2 boil now. Continue no, but O'Brien let the uncle, the Assay uncle. When to my much way media, I say to me. It will be on 1 may have you. To win to 2 about 3 weeks, no more 5. I sent you about toilet to her, follow her, on my intuition, they didn't quite check a car near local. Tomorrow, you go to first one. You can't wait, third one will do with him. He's on his view. Only I said, my man, the body can have me. I said, man, boy, I don't two, first one, first no 2. Go to, second 2. I will see. 2 hours what is him. This is why on his view. This is a 4 son. Some of who was him. He is asking me in that view.
asemi man mi je asemi man mi je so I be sem kama yo hon wa cho ska ko to usa
bibia ye ba center it no ye kra bibia okun de me na bibia so ye ye nansi bi ya boy sen ye wa de ho ye mpa nti won bi nti won ene we bibi for me no ye kra what's the run no going to wa be che cause in the next catch one day cause the I say Yoruba from ba we are hand or the banchi we put that chunk uncle chan na what we I wonder what you discover
ball no go chiri hon onyende de bia han wada e damping place what two ball we do even at all so every morning you obaji ticket to ha ticket e gine hu ada wade de bia oji ticket ya ba han ya pre na abo an hwe photos o yina ni na no mu aye ma bola nkoten bola de bia ya tinem oji ticket wodi de bia ya ha ya pre na abo an ahada no nka station no nso de bia oji ticket we station na ya tinem aho ya na habon ye ni urinal wa ha aha ya no wo sanche even at wherever na ya sport na chiwa toilet egu no urinal no toilet o station ha nti obi aba na oda ha urinal na oba bo sanche na okọ nti yete ha ogbon yete nti ya be na ha na yedidi nti oda yete na ha desan ya prapra ya tutu me ekoye fi
Now, in an interview with Ibrahim Musa of the Water Aid Ghana, we are going to, employ him to kind of give us answers as to the concerns that the residents of Kojo Kurom have raised about their sanitation situation.
Thanks once again for joining us on Clean Communities. This week, our focus community is Kojo Kurom in the Western region, and our focus is on waste collection and management. For us to delve into this issue tonight is Mr. Ibrahim Musa of Water Aid. He's here to deal with this issue about handling waste collection and the agencies involved and why we seem to have problems as to who or which agency is responsible and in charge of collecting waste and who supervises that agency. Mr. Musa, you are welcome.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
We're looking at Kojo Kurom this week. It's been a difficult time. We went there, we visited there last week, and we had a problem, issues of waste management and collection. But what we saw was that the sanitation situation in Kojo Kurom has gotten bad, waste left uncollected. And we just want to find out who is to be held responsible for this issue.
Thank you very much. Under the current dispensation, waste management is entirely the responsibility of metropolitan, municipal or district assemblies in any district. And so the policy and practice is clear from the point of view of Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, which is the supervising ministry, and its specific directorate, Environmental Health and Sanitation Directorate, which also at the policy level work with the various metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies. So entirely, the over 214 district assemblies we have in Ghana, they are responsible for waste, collection, management, disposal, etc. in this country.
Okay. But we seem to have a problem here in Kojo Krom, where specifically residents are saying that the underlying political issues in the Shama-Anta East municipality is creating a problem where the ruling government appoints selected unit committee members to take charge of the refuse collection. And then they added that in the previous regime, it was the elected assemblymen and women who were responsible for collecting refuse. Now the issue is that because there are two opposing parties in power, we seem to have a problem as to who is solely responsible for collecting refuse in Kojo Krom.
Well, maybe just briefly to touch on the point you made about the local governance systems and representation. Rightly so, that government has, by the policies and practices of the district assemblies, government is supposed to select 1/3 of district assembly members. They call them the appointed members. And so these are what we call government nominees. There is an existing formula and category of people that government should appoint. It cuts across expertise in development area, opinion leadership. So for instance, a chief, women representation. So government will look at this criteria and appoint the 1/3 to the assembly to team up with the elected assemblymen and women, who then become the local legislatures, we call them, synonymous to, or if you like, they are equal, or the relatedness is the parliament. So at the local government level, assemblymen and women, both elected and appointed, constitute the local councillors at the local assemblies. They are supposed, especially the assemblymen and women, whether elected or appointed, they represent electoral areas. Their role encompasses a lot, including mobilizing and supporting chiefs and opinion leaders to galvanize the energies of their people to promote development. So in the case of Kojo Krom, it may be the case that some assemblymen or women are supposed to mobilize and support the assembly to ensure that environmental sanitation is managed and managed well, which is supposed to be the case, because citizens should have the responsibility to support agencies that have been contracted. As we speak now, in almost all the metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies, they have contracted private agencies to manage waste. So you have heard of Zuma Alliance, in a number of places. There are other private contractors, and in each metropolitan, municipal and district level, what they have done is that they have zoned the areas and allocated the areas to different waste management contractors who are responsible, for collecting. Under the operating principles and guidelines, each community is supposed to have what we call water and sanitation management teams. So where you have a water facility, definitely you will have what we call the WSMT, Water and Sanitation Management Team, who have, there are about 7 members, and they have their chairman, they have their secretary, they have their hygiene promoter, they have their treasurer, managing the community water and sanitation issues. What happens is that they will be working in consent and in cooperation with the assemblyman and woman. The case of Kojo Krom may be the case that, for instance, in a typical Kojo Krom or any other community, if they have a public toilet, in a number of cases, as some assemblies have privatized the toilet, just to ensure that it is managed and managed properly. Where that happens, it means the private man in charge is supposed to ensure that environmental sanitation is managed decently to promote the health of the people. Where it is not privatized, assembly sets up mechanism operating or collaborating with the assemblyman and woman to promote waste management. That may be the case in Kojo Krom. In that case, the assembled man or woman should establish a committee and establish some operating principle that will be in charge. Whether that assembled man or woman is government appointee or is elected, must be accountable to the people. How will the assembled man, whether government appointed or elected, be accountable? One, if under our current dispensation, there is this scenario we have, it's even in the Environmental Sanitation Policy 2010, polluter pay principle, where at the point of dumping waste, people are supposed to pay a token to aid in the collection, management, final disposal of the waste. Such token collections to manage waste in a community like Kojo Krom should be managed and accounted for. So if the assembled person, man or woman, is put there, the assembled man or woman is supposed to do those collections and then account it to the district assembly. At the end of the month, there must be an account rendered, how much was collected. And through that process, the contractor or the private agency that is responsible to cut the waste from the heap of garbage point to the final destination is then paid. And then if there is some balance, government of Ghana will then top up. And that is how waste management should go. So in the case of Kojo Krom, I will say without hesitation that the people need to sit up. Whoever is put in charge should be educated. Excuse me to say, if the person is not well informed, should be educated.
Because in this case, we met one revenue collector who is a lady, and we asked her also, how do you account for the revenue you collect from those who come to dump refuse over here? Now what she told us, for a while now, nobody has come to collect money, to take money from her. And to the extent that at the point in time when she fell sick, she even used part of the money to treat herself. So in this case, who do we hold responsible?
That is very interesting. That is highly improper and highly unaccountable. And I think we have the district water and sanitation team, the supervising districts in charge of Kojo Krom. That district water and sanitation team should be up and doing. The district water and sanitation team should move in to work in concert with that particular person, the revenue collector, and the community of Kojo Krom to resolve the issue, because it is unacceptable for that revenue collector to be collecting poor people's money. Their thinking is that those monies should be used to manage waste in terms of organizing the waste, in terms of disposing it off, so that they have a very sanitized environment. They have a healthy environment to live. After all, they want healthy, lifestyle, including their children and women. And so if somebody ascribes to himself or herself collecting revenue without accounting for it, it is a mistake. For lack of a better word, let me put it that it is a mistake. And the people of Kojo Krom must work closely to educate the people. The local assembly and their water and sanitation management team at the assembly should come in, to reorganize the system and sanitize it. I think the person is just trying to take the people for granted. It is not right.
So in your opinion, do you think that looking at the larger picture, do you think we should change the policy of having appointed members in the local assemblies? And if so, won't it create a lot of problems, conflict of interest and all that in this community such as Kojo Krom?
Yes, Kojo Krom may be having challenges. And with direct reference to your question, should we change the government appointment of 1/3 of the assembly members? It is a very interesting subject which I believe local government experts will also speak to, and people have been discussing around, because the constitutional review process is not finished.
Okay.
As we talk, they are in the process of finalizing and thinking whether we should even have amendments. And these are areas, you know, when the constitutional review process even started, there was a thinking around even voting district chief executive, just like we vote members of parliament. All these are evolving. The important thing is, if we get to that bridge and Ghanaians decide that government appointing 1/3 of people to assemble must stop, and every person in the assembly must be elected, fine. Ghanaians should accept that and it will be fine. The important thing here, I will stick my neck out to comment, is whether government stop appointing or the people elect their own people, accountability has no substitute. Whether you have been elected to serve your people as member of parliament, whether you have been elected to serve your people as assemblyman, whether you have been appointed by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana, you must live and work in an accountable manner to your people. If you are not accountable to your people, you are shortchanging Ghana, you are undermining our development efforts, and that is not acceptable. After all, even under the whole Local Government Act 462, 1993, accountability reflects in all aspects. And there are various mechanisms that are put in place at the community level, at the district level, at the ministerial level, and even at the cabinet level, you know, for people to account to whoever they represent. You know, and that is why we have members of parliament. Occasionally, you hear the distinguished members of parliament call ministers of state, you know, to parliament to ask them questions about the public purse. We have the Public Accounts Committee, which superintends and call people to come and defend budgets, to come and then answer to questions on, you know, finances of state institutions. So accountability is something that we cannot and we should not play with. Whether you have been appointed by the President of Ghana, you have been appointed by District Chief Executive, or you have been elected to serve, you must account to your people. And on this occasion, I will want to call on the citizens of Kojo Kurom to engage more, to take the destiny into their own hands and call their assembled person or persons in their locality to reorganize their sanitation management processes and ensure that it is more accountable, to ensure that the people who pay for the refuse to be dumped pay with the mind that the refuse is going to be collected and managed. After all, if the heaps of garbage is left there unattended to, the consequent effect is that there will be spillovers, there will be the outbreak of diseases like cholera, you know, diarrhea, and the people will be affected. At the end of the day, they will spend more resources to go for health care, which is not good for them. So the citizens of Kojo Kurom must be serious about this issue. They must organize in a non-confrontational manner, you know, peaceful dialogue, you know, invite the assembly, you know, which is the supervising agency, the district water and sanitation team, to come and sit with them to reorganize the place. But it is not acceptable for somebody to ascribe to himself the issue of collecting money and not rendering account, if that is the case.
this, in trying to resolve some of these issues and ensuring a clean community, what role do you think the traditional authorities have to play in this situation?
Absolutely. And that is why this program, Clean Communities Program, which is run by Joy News and funded by Star Ghana and other partners, is very crucial. Because under the purview of clean communities, we are mobilizing citizens, educating and sensitizing citizens and key stakeholders to promote environmental sanitation. The role of traditional authority is crucial. After all, in Ghana makeup, both historical, traditional authorities have a deeper role to play in mobilizing, organizing, and promoting peace. So there is no way cleaner communities can succeed with the traditional authorities being at the center. So in Kojo Krom in particular, the traditional leadership in their wisdom, their time-tested wisdom should come into the picture and support, the assembled, men and women, the other community leaders to be able to resolve that. We trust the wisdom, ingenuity, and the expertise of our traditional authorities to support, bring cleaner communities for Kojo Krom. And we believe that they can do that.
Okay. What strategy or toolkit do you think we can use? Partnership or holding the municipal assembly accountable in ensuring a clean Kojo Krom?
Yes, a number of strategies can be employed by the people of Kojo Krom. Some of the strategies, the people there already know them. Maybe we are just resensitizing them to that because they are very decisive people. One, partnership that involves the community leadership, the traditional authority, and the municipal assembly. Partnership that involves the community and external stakeholders. But those external stakeholders that are coming should not undermine the knowledge base of the community. Okay. The communities are knowledgeable to drive their own process of cleaner communities. So any external stakeholder coming should step on the knowledge base of the community. After all, the communities will tell you 10 years ago how was their sanitary situation and how they manage it. 30 years ago, how did they manage it? You, the external partner, may not know. The community can guide you. And so using the cleaner community concept, they can be able, external stakeholders can be able to support them, to be able to override that. But the most important thing is policies of the states, especially the local government, must be obeyed. One important policy at the assembly level is bylaws on sanitation. This must be drafted, this must be respected, and people who violate sanitation bylaws, the people of Kojo Krom must point them out. They can either use the traditional arbitration system to deal with the people or refer them to the assembled established bylaws, to be able to regulate that. And that is one important area that we believe can be able to support, the people.
Okay, because in this case, they are pointing accusing figures at the contractor. The contractor's inability or the failure on his part to lift waste. And that's created all these problems, and that's why they seem to have problems or issues with the municipal assembly and then the contractor being unable to lift refuse, as to whether it's as a result of non-payment or for whatever reason. Residents don't seem to understand, because there's no explanation from the authorities down to the people over there.
Absolutely. For the issue of non-payments, I believe that we are all in this country, and over the past few months we have heard contractors, especially waste management contractors, chasing local government authorities for payments, of their waste. So it is an issue that is there. Nobody can run away from that. But if citizens are well organized, people of Kojo Krom, if they are well organized, some of these issues, they can be able to overcome them. If they are well organized, for instance, they can be able to dialogue with the assembly where Kojo Krom sits and ask relevant questions with their assembled men and women, with the district chief executive, and find out what is happening. As a matter of fact, there is also environmental health and sanitation units at the various district assemblies. They are responsible of facilitating the process of waste management, liaising with the district assembly. They can be engaged by the people of Kojo Krom, to be able to find relevant answers to these questions. What I will add is that sanitation is very crucial to the overall health and development of people. And so whatever challenges, be it financial, be it institutional, be it bureaucratic, that local government authorities are facing and not paying waste management, contractors in good time, should be looked at. Because if heaps of garbage is left uncollected, the health of the people, the hygiene of the people is compromised. And that means they cannot be healthy. And if people are not healthy, they cannot go to work and earn income. There are two implications if people are not healthy and they cannot go to work. One, government that is desirous of raising taxes to develop us cannot get the people to tax because they haven't worked. Where are you going to get money to tax? Secondly, the people themselves will not have money to take care of their families. And mind you, government of Ghana has the sole responsibility to take care of everybody. And if people are destitute on the streets, because they cannot take care of themselves, Department of Social Welfare will have to be responsible, which means it has to come from government purse, and it will fall back on government. So it means that much as we can prevent and promote the health of the people through rapid collection of waste, we should. I will not end this by not also calling on citizens to be ambassadors of proper waste management. Our attitudes to impunity in terms of dumping waste anywhere, anyhow, especially those who travel and they just open the car and dump waste anyhow, those who come out of their homes and put rubber bags containing waste in gutters. And at the end of the day, the gutters are filled, rainwater cannot run, creating and contributing to flooding must also stop. So yes, the state may be responsible, the local government must act, and act now to pay waste collectors, but our citizens must also reflect on our attitude to waste management. And I think when that is done, cleaner communities will surely come, and Kojo Krom will have clean, communities, and people will be happy.
What's your last word for the people of Kojo Krom?
Well, I will tell the people of Kojo Krom that these are temporary setbacks. In the process of development, we go through various challenges. It is not lost at all. They will just have to reorganize themselves. They will just have to rally around their traditional authority. They have to seek support from the district assembly and then organize themselves to dialogue, but ensure that people are held accountable to wherever they put themselves. But they should coolly and collectively dialogue and not take the law into their own hands. With dialogue, with peaceful discussions, they will be fine. And they should be aware that cleaner communities will not come easy. They have the responsibility, other stakeholders have responsibility, district assembly has responsibility, and everybody must fulfill his side of the bargain to bring about cleaner communities.
In association with Star Ghana, this has been Clean Communities. And until we meet again next week, stay well. I am Sarah Mabla D'Souza.